Hello everyone, it's Tilessa here, and in this video I will be telling you 7 of the top reasons as to why you feel Genshin Burnout and 3 solutions to fix it. Other than that, subscribe and follow my Twitch if you want, and let's get the video started. Going through Genshin Burnout is a tough thing to overcome, especially when you have to be on the game every single day to complete commissions and use up resin. With the repetitive style of gacha games making you complete the same things over and over again to make a certain character OP with god tier artifacts or to collect primo gems for wishing, it can make you start hating the game that you used to enjoy playing initially and make you slowly get tired of it, which could later lead to going on a long streak of not playing or fully uninstalling the game. To start off, you feel Genshin Burnout because commissions are too repetitive and predictable. Even if you change it to different regions, the commission slowly becomes something you have memorized and it stops becoming fun and more of a chore over time. You want to get the primo gems, but the motivation isn't there anymore. While there are ways to make the process of completing commissions more fun by doing different team comps or doing it with friends, that too can become boring over time. The game designed for collecting daily primo gems needs to be fixed since it actually does the opposite in making the player base play more. Unless you stream Genshin Impact on a daily basis, most casual players will just leave after commissions instead of playing longer. Therefore, Genshin must quickly figure out a way to give out different commissions instead of letting them repeat the day after. I'm still waiting on the Ligia commission that will let me get this achievement. Next, our second reason for Genshin Burnout is that it takes forever to build a character with the daily resin cap. I don't know who designed it, but the fact that you have to take almost a week to ascend a character with their appropriate elemental gemstones is crazy. On top of leveling up their weapon, farming artifacts, Mora, hero wits, talent books, and boss drops, the resin cap is the worst. 160 is just not optimal. This is another case of Genshin doing this so people play every day, but why have this when the commissions already are designed in this way? The small amount of resin given just gives players another incentive to stop playing because they have to wait a long time to build a character anyway, which fuels their burnout even more if they now feel pressured to pre-farm before getting a character so they can keep up with everyone else. For the third reason, you feel Genshin Burnout because you're unlucky. Just kidding. It's mainly because there's too much RNG. It's crazy. Mainly this is annoying when artifact hunting and whatnot, but it also slows down the process in getting that character ascended and leveling up their weapon. You can be one drop below the amount you actually need, which is a recipe for frustration and tons of copium. Artifact RNG is just gonna get worse with Sumeru. The Dendro Goblet is just going to make the goblet hunting even more difficult. I feel like most Genshin players can agree that RNG in wishing is already more than enough. We don't need RNG when farming resources and fighting mobs in the Spiral Abyss. For every one great artifact a person can obtain, there have already been more than 100 bad artifacts. This leads on to our fourth reason, in that weekly bosses in general do the same things over and over again. While it's great for no damage runs, it makes farming for character materials really boring. Imagine having to kill the same boss for a week to get what you want, just to come back later and continue farming that same boss to level up another character. Fighting a boss with only 3 tricks makes it become so predictable to fight them. This problem mostly affects Genshin players who have been playing the game for a while since they now have teams strong enough to make the process faster, but it also makes the process more tedious and feel like a chore. They don't have to use skills anymore to fight, increasing the Genshin Burnout. For our fifth reason, you are burnt out because there's a lack of difficulty at higher levels. While it is great to be finally as strong as you wanted, everything is too easy to kill now. You lose that beginner feeling of taking a long time to kill that boss in the storyline and also feeling like you accomplished something through strategy and eating food so you don't die. You begin to lose the stimulation that makes your heart race and you start wishing more so you can get that adrenaline feeling again. Without wishing, you are just burnt out with how easy it is to accomplish everything. While Genshin can increase world levels, I don't think that's the way to go because you just make the problem even worse without fixing it, in my opinion. Next, our sixth reason is that after you explore a region, you don't have anything else that is fun to do in that region, especially if you've already collected the ascension materials required for your characters. While events such as festivals and small quests make you go back to these regions, you don't normally stay for long in these kind of middle of nowhere places. This, in turn, makes Genshin players feel even more burnt out. It's because you finished everything essentially. You already got your rewards and done everything that is to be done. You have already achieved what the game wants you to achieve, as you've adventured. It would be great, this is just my idea, if you had all these characters in Genshin living in their respectable regional areas. Imagine the incentive it would be to try to look for Zhongli around Liya like it was during the Lantern Rite. That would be so cool. The characters would be hanging around and you can interact with them whenever you want. Xiangling would be with her dad, Diluc would be at Dawn Winery, and Kokomi would be at her office working. I think putting more characters into the world would make players feel a strong connection to them and make them feel less inclined to stop adventuring. For our last reason as to why you feel Genshin Burnout, it's because co-op isn't anything that keeps you excited, which can make you a little lonely and sad, especially when your friend flaunts their new 5-star that you couldn't get because you lost the 50-50. While it's great to play with friends and troll around, there will be times when they will be busy and you are left farming artifacts and exploring alone. It would be great to be able to do quests together with friends in co-op so that you can problem solve together and it doesn't feel lonely trying to figure out these puzzles by yourself, but Genshin hasn't included that as a feature. Co-op becomes less of an enjoyable thing when nobody wants to visit you because you're already high enough in AR. Now that we have gone through the top 7 things on the list, I want to now talk about 3 solutions you can do so that you can help your Genshin Burnout or a friend's Genshin Burnout. Number 1. Try different team comps that you have never thought of trying before. Change it up. While there are many unpopular characters, it doesn't mean they are bad. Use these characters that are unfamiliar to you when fighting mobs and stuff and see how that goes for you. Experiment in the Spiral Abyss. Try using your starter team again. Do solo runs. There are still many things you can try, so don't give up. Number 2. Take the game at your own pace. It's an adventure game, so treat it like that. Take a break, try out other games in the meantime other than Genshin. Once you switch around with different games, you are slowly able to succeed in both. Doing something for too long can lower your motivation, so it's best to try on new things in the meantime while you are burnt out. But if you feel a need to complete quests and events for Primo Gems, try to do it while listening to music or watching something. If you are just not feeling the game, don't push yourself to complete it. Number 3. This might be pointless for some, but I feel like it's good to think about why you started playing Genshin in the first place. Is it a specific character, or do you just love the adventure aspect of it? Make sure you reflect on the hard work you put in and the fun times you've experienced. It would be great too if you joined a Genshin community so that you can appreciate the game with others. Genshin Impact isn't a perfect game, but it doesn't have to be an unenjoyable experience. Make sure that you acknowledge the burnout and work on just having fun. So thank you to those who have watched the video to the end. I really appreciate it since this is my 3rd video that I am uploading on this channel. Please consider subscribing and liking if you liked the video, and I hope you have a great day.